Should the Lions draft Aiden Hutchinson? All right, pretty clear now that the Lions are going to have the pick number 1 or 2. If they have number 2, it'll be Jacksonville at 1. They don't need a quarterback, so maybe they do go defensive end or do something, take one of those top 2 defensive ends. But we're going to have our pick really between the guy out in Oregon and Aiden Hutchinson. And so this last game against Ohio State, Aiden Hutchinson really it was just a magical scene where Aiden Hutchinson has 3 sacks. He's the all-time leading single season sack getter for Michigan. He's got 13. The guy has he just does everything that you want from a defensive player, especially a defensive end. You look at the Lions, and what we need is we need a pass rush. We have no pass rush, and that just really impacts everything that we do. And you look at Michigan, you look at a team that and kind of a philosophy that you want. They rush 4, they drop 7. It just makes everything so much easier when you can get at the passer. They actually have 2 defensive ends that can get to the passer. So the Lions have to get a defensive end. I think they're gonna do that with the first pick, first or second pick, whatever they are. They're probably gonna be the first pick. And so do they go Aiden Hutchinson, who continues to rise? He was a top 10 pick already, but now it's like, man, is this the kind of guy you just take? I mean, here's a guy, you can say what you want about him, but the guy has gone into Michigan, breaking records there, impacting that, and got the win against Ohio State, like a culture changer, no question. So you look, if he came to the Lions, kind of what would that look like? Well, now you've got Penei Sewell on the offensive side. He's shown that this guy he's got the heart, he's got the tenacity, he's got the talent, most importantly, to kind of lead that offensive side of the ball and be a leader. And then if you bring in Aiden Hutchinson on the defensive line, kind of what that looks like for our identity as the Detroit Lions. Because right now, one of our biggest problems, we've got a bunch of guys that we've just kind of pieced together for this season. We've got it's like who's our guys? Like who are our guys on this team? It's not Goff. It's not these guys we brought in on 1-year deals. It's like Hawkinson. I mean, it's like Swift. I don't know, like who are the guys of this team, the core of this team? And so now if you bring in Aiden Hutchinson, now he's part of that core, and it's like, man, this is a guy you can build around. Now you got your defensive end, your tackle, offensive tackle with Penei Sewell, and it just starts to feel like you've got something here. And now we can get out on the edges and get some wide receivers and get some help, get some explosion. But we have no game breakers on defense, and that's really kind of shocking in 2 ways. Number one, that you don't have a single player on defense that's a game breaker, and somebody to make a play, and yet our defense isn't that bad either. So it's kind of, in a weird way, kind of exciting, because throughout this whole season, our defense is not that bad, and they continue to hang in there with no talent, injuries all over the place. So if we get Aiden Hutchinson, it just kind of puts everything kind of start coming together. And I don't always love taking like the hometown guy, because it feels like you're just taking the hometown guy and you don't know how to scout, and you just like, all right, he's good. I kind of watched him down the road. And I know that's not the case with Brad Holmes, but it still just feels like that's the easy way out. Yeah, he's good. He plays an hour away. Let's grab him. Where I now am like, this guy's like, man, he's good. He is good. He's big. He's strong. He's fast. He can play against the run. He can rush the passer. And you just see it like time and time again. He just does it. So for me, I have no problem taking him there. I think the Lions have to take a defensive end, just splash play. Like, it's the same thing with Penei last year. It's like, look, we've got problems all over the team. Let's take an offensive tackle, DN. And that's where you take in the top 10. When we took, Okudah, number 3 corner, yeah, I mean, he's a great corner, but at the top 5 pick, taking a corner is just, it's tough. He hasn't lived up to the expectations. Who knows what's going on with his career. So at that number 1 pick, you take a stud quarterback. It's apparent that's not there. You take a D end or a tackle, and that's just what you do at that high of a draft pick. So I think we take a D end. I have no problem with Hutchinson. I'd like to see us take him, because it's like, man, let's keep this guy going. I mean, he makes plays and he makes an impact, and he's a culture changer, and that's what we need. We need some players. We need some spark. We need something, man. It's just been so dormant on both sides of the ball with any sort of explosive plays, and so we can really benefit from that on the defensive side. So I think we take Hutchinson at number 1 after he wins the Heisman. Another video coming on that. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next one.